Welcome to the Think Like a Saver, Real Ways to Save for Military virtual town hall. Join members of the Military Saves team, along with personal finance and savings experts as we discuss practical ways to save around your home, on food, monthly expenses, and so much more, all with the military lifestyle in mind. With these easy-to-implement strategies, you'll be able to see very real savings in your wallet and feel more financially confident. We encourage you to engage with us by leaving comments, asking questions, and sharing your tips and top takeaways in the chat. Welcome to the Military Saves Town Hall.
Thank you so much for tuning in to our Think Like a Saver, Real Ways to Save for Military virtual town hall. I'm Crystal Spell, Manager of Military Programs here at America Saves, and it's officially Military Saves Week 2023, a time-honored tradition that is a week where we can collectively, as the military community, individuals, families, leaders, and employers, pause and check in with our finances, set and renew goals, and encourage those in the military community and around you to do the same. In addition to our focus on Military Saves Week, we're excited to announce the launch of Veteran Saves during this week. Veteran Saves is our new sister program to Military Saves, dedicated to helping veterans and transitioning military personnel with practical strategies, tips, resources, and support that'll help build their financial confidence. Now, as a member of the military, you may face unique challenges when it comes to saving money, such as those frequent military moves, deployments, and limited access to resources. That's why we'll provide tips and strategies specifically tailored to the military context, including ways to save money on purchases, how to manage expenses during PCS moves, and how to take advantage of military discounts and benefits. We understand that being in the military can be a demanding and often unpredictable lifestyle, and that's why it's more important than ever to take control of your finances and make every dollar count. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or a new recruit, this week will offer valuable insight and practical advice to help you save money and build a more secure financial future for you and your family. And by taking those small, actionable steps towards financial responsibility, you can gain greater peace of mind and better focus on your mission and duties as a military member. So, Military Saves Week 2023 is from today, April 24th, through Friday, April 28th, and our theme is A Financially Confident You. Each day of the week, we focus on one specific area within your finances, sharing tips, strategies, and activities that you can do that will increase your financial health. So today's theme is saving automatically. Tomorrow, we'll focus on saving for the unexpected. Wednesday, our theme is saving for major life milestones, things like retirement or purchasing a home, or even a loved one saving for college. Thursday's focus is saving to pay down debt, which we all know a lot of savers are working toward reducing their debt, myself included. And Friday, we'll wrap up the week with saving at any age, where we discuss saving no matter where you are in your life, including age-appropriate conversations with young people, competing priorities in your 20s and 30s through retirement, and decumulation of saving during your retirement years. So we hope that you'll actively participate in the week by putting those strategies we share to work for you, using our resources, and staying engaged with our social media, emails, text messages, and more. And one more really exciting thing to tell you happening this week, that's our Think Like a Saver sweepstakes. We'll be giving away 5 $500 cash prizes to lucky savers. So all you have to do to be eligible is comment with your very top takeaway from today's town hall, either on Facebook or YouTube in the next 24 hours, and take the Military Saves Pledge within the last 12 months. If you're unsure if you've taken it, go ahead and do so now. We'll drop the link in the chat. Now let's hear from the Military Saves team with quick tips on building your financial confidence.
Everyone has their version of financial confidence. Like it's what makes me feel confident about my finances. What does financial confidence mean to you?
For me, it means having all of the information that I need to feel like I know what I'm doing, basically, right? I'm making decisions that align with where I am right now, with where me and my partner are right now. So having all of the right information and understanding how to move forward. And we always talk about how everyone's journey is unique.
Yeah.
Right, so we don't shame anyone's journey.
Yeah.
Everyone is coming to the table from like a really unique place,
Yep.
and I think that also plays into financial confidence.
Like we say, start small, think big, like making those small little changes, even just developing those habits of savings, being able to get into the rhythm of putting some money back.
Even $5, $10, $15 a paycheck will grow, and that feeling of I'm doing this will grow. And that feeling, that knowing that you're building the habit, is the biggest part for building financial confidence. So it's not about my perspective on your finances or how confident I would be if I were you. It's about you and like having all of the information that you need.
Sometimes you think, how can I get started? Like, how do I build that financial confidence? And we kind of already mentioned it, but starting to get to know where all your finances are. And part of that is that spending and savings tool, like getting that clear view of where you are right now, putting together that budget, listing out all of your expenses, listing out all of your incomes, going through and seeing where you're at and saying, okay, here's our step one. And then also going through and revisiting that on like a monthly basis.
Military life offers incredible advantages and privileges, but if we're being real, it's not always a walk in the park. It's great to have the security of good healthcare and a steady paycheck, especially in times of economic uncertainty. But when you're constantly PCSing or dealing with deployments, it can be tough to save money, not to mention dealing with the everyday financial challenges that many Americans face, like the rising cost of groceries and working to pay off debt. With all that said, we're excited to tell you that saving is possible, no matter where you are in your financial or military journey. Saving is more than just the act of saving. Just by being here today, you're building your financial confidence, which means you're taking action towards increasing not only your savings account, but your financial stability as a whole. And engaging with us means you're accessing community support and resources. Joining us to chat more about how to get on the path to saving while living the military life, we have Jen Hempel, an accredited financial counselor and host of Her Dinero Matters podcast. Thanks for joining us, Jen.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited about this conversation today.
Excellent, me too. So, Jen, service members and their families often face unique challenges such as income changes due to deployment-related allowances that stop upon returning home, loss of spousal income due to frequent moves, and additional expenses associated with those military moves. Considering these complexities, how can military personnel prioritize saving while also navigating the unique financial challenges of military life and ensure long-term financial stability?
There are definitely various things that you can do, and I'm so familiar with these changes. I've been a military spouse for 23 years this year. So I've experienced all of that, from the loss of income from me stopping working to deployment to all those things, the moves, the added expenses with the moves. So I'm very familiar. And there's definitely different things you can do. One of them is creating a budget. A budget, you basically, it allows you to plan. It keeps you on track. It helps you just see the possibilities of what you can do, and it allows you also to save for things that come up occasionally. Some people call it sinking funds, and for those occasional expenses, it allows you to really plan out those emergency funds and really have an idea, especially with our PCSs, have an idea and plan out those out-of-pocket expenses, which we know too well, they happen. They just happen. And when there's a loss of an income too, we have to figure out how much of that lost income is really needed. And is it realistic to live off one income? Maybe it's not for your particular household. And if it isn't realistic, what do you need to offset that income loss? So with budgeting, it really is essential to have and to create one and to use it. So not just to create one and leave it, is to create one and put it into action. Another thing is just there are so many benefits within the military, and you have the TSP, you have the savings deposit plan, and those resources are available to you and you want to take advantage. The TSP, you are able to invest with low fees and you're able to take advantage of what's called compound interest. And that's, I call it the magical word because it allows your money to multiply over time. And it's using your time, the time to your advantage. So the earlier you start, the more that money compounds. And of course, the savings deposit plan, if you're not familiar with it, you're able to save up to $10,000 when you're deployed in those combat zones, and at a return and an interest rate of 10%. And even though there's high yield savings right now, the high yield savings, you're able to, the interest rate is about 4 to 5%. So 10% is a big deal. So being able to take advantage of that is huge. And you also want to plan ahead. Planning is so essential, especially with the moves, the deployments, upcoming promotions. With the deployments, there's some extra money. With upcoming promotions, there's extra money. If you move overseas, there's some extra money. If you plan ahead for how you're going to use that money, or if you plan ahead with the moves of what you need to save that money, it really goes a long way, because there's that saying that if you don't plan your day, someone else or something else will. It's the same with your money. If you don't plan out your money, it's literally going to go not in the direction that you want. It's going to disappear. Think about your past promotion, where, because we've been there, guilty, I'm raising my hand, where the intent was to save that extra money you get every month. You didn't plan, and the money disappeared. I think a lot of us have been there. So planning is so essential. It's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. So plan, plan, plan. And then you want to be able to seek out support. I know finances, you don't want to get that support because maybe you're ashamed of your financial situation. But the reality is, if you don't, it's okay to get help. There's no reason to feel ashamed of your financial situation. And there are resources available at military installations. There's a financial counselors available. There's also Military One Source. You're here, Military Saves, they're available. There's also Military Spouse Mission. There's so many resources available. You just need to take advantage of them.
That is so true. Honestly, those are excellent points, and encouraging military members and their spouses to take advantage of the resources that are there, I think, is so important. Military benefits and resources can be incredibly valuable tools for achieving financial stability, from healthcare and education benefits to retirement savings plan and housing allowances. It's really important for service members and their families to understand those benefits and make the most of them to help them achieve their financial goals. So, speaking of resources, you can sign up to access our Military Saves Saving and Spending Plan on-demand video workshop to help you create a budget that's inclusive to the military lifestyle. We'll put the link in the chat for you, and we definitely encourage you to check that out. So, Jen, what would you say to military individuals and military families who currently know that they're not earning what they'd like to earn, and also feel like they don't have enough to save, or are feeling anxious about even sitting down to start that budget?
First of all, you need to have clarity of your numbers. That is number one. You really need to know what you have and what you don't have. And a lot of people fear this because they fear the feeling of, or not even the feeling, but feeling they don't want to face the reality. And the reality may not be as bad as you think. You really want to know what your bottom line is. And what I mean by the bottom line is, after your income and after your expenses, what is left? And there's going to be three scenarios. It's going to be, you're going to have a positive number, which means you have some extra money to play with. It could be zeroed out, meaning everything is all spent, or it could be a negative number, meaning you're either overspending or maybe you don't have enough income to meet your needs. So you have to know what that bottom line is. And a lot of people are fearful of doing that, but You can't plan, you can't improve if you don't know the baseline, if you don't know what you're starting off with. So it's really important to have clarity. There's also different budgeting rules that you can follow. One is the 30 40 30 rule, which basically 30% goes into towards outstanding debt. So this is some guidance. So 30% of what's coming in should go to outstanding debt or just catching up things in the past, right? Then the 40% goes to the present. So everything, your current living expenses, your emergency funds, other needs and wants. And then the other 30% goes to your long-term goals like home ownership, like retirement, education, other large purchases. So having that clarity and having, following some sort of guidance like a budgeting rule like the 30 40 30, it is helpful because then that gives you clarity, it gives you a plan, and it gives you a path to move forward.
Absolutely. I love that you are encouraging people to figure out where they are regardless of where they are, right? If they don't know, it's not going to get any better. So I definitely love that suggestion. And it's also so true that no matter where you are financially, getting a clear view of your finances and creating a plan for increasing your income, reducing your expenses, or saving for what is most important to you, it really helps set the stage for being a more financially confident version of yourself. So you can learn more about the 30 40 30 rule at militarysaves.org, and we'll drop the link to that resource in the comments for you to have, and we encourage you to take a look. So Jen, balancing the demands of a military career with personal financial goals can be difficult. How can military individuals and those with dependents stay on top of their financial life, even in the midst of TDYs, deployments, and so on?
I love this question. I'm personally a big fan of really identifying the roles of the financial roles of how your household or what your household needs. So to really run the finances in your household, what is it that you need and who is going to be in charge of those roles? Of course, there's TDYs, there's deployments, and when that happens, how are those roles going to change? So what am I talking about when I say roles? So, who is going to be in charge of budgeting? Who's going to be in charge of really managing and overseeing the money that is being spent? The bills, who's going to take care of the bills, investing, saving, the debt payoff, if that's the situation you're in, children expenses, and really tracking goals or something maybe more specific to your household. Maybe there's a member in your household that has some healthcare needs, and that it really takes some significant money to pay month after month. So really the roles are going to be, in general, you're going to have similar roles, but what is key is to identify the key roles that will help you manage your household finances. So besides that, besides identifying those roles, it's having that conversation. You need to have that conversation as to who is going to do what. Is it going to be the person with the most time? Is it going to be the person with most experience? Is it going to be the person with the most interest, right? But another key thing here is that you both need to be on board. Both partners need to be on board and make sure that you agree on who's going to do what. And what I also find is that these conversations aren't necessarily happening a lot. So we need to have these conversations. We don't want to assume that our partner, just because our partner is taking care of the bills, that they're going to be overseeing all aspects of the finances. So it's important to have these conversations. You can also make sure that you simplify as much as you can, and you can simplify some of these things like your savings, investing, and debt payoff by automating. I'm a big fan of automating. We've talked about making plans for the money. We talked about that early, so that's really, really, really important to do.
Thank you so much for that extremely thorough answer. It's such helpful information. And it's clear that military personnel have unique challenges when it comes to balancing their career and financial goals. And I love how we're reframing how to think about the allowances you receive during certain aspects of your military career. Even though at some point those allowances may stop, it's important for us to make the most of them and even use them to kick off your savings journey. For our viewers, be sure to check out the links that we've shared in the chat or in the comments. And Jen, these were all great things to know and for you to share with our viewers today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So now that we have practical ways to save and recognize the importance of having a clear understanding of our finances, let's delve into some strategies for saving during a challenging part of military life that I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with, the PCS move. The upcoming PCS season is unavoidable, and while there's ample information on saving for it, how do you continue to save like once you're already in the midst of it? How do you avoid exhausting your finances while waiting for housing or staying in temporary lodging and without the comforts of being settled into your home? Here to chat with us and share some tips for saving money during a PCS is accredited financial counselor and a military spouse, Amy Miller. Thanks for joining us, Amy.
Hey, Crystal. Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Amy, I know we both had the privilege of being a military spouse and traveling. And I know that for some, frequent PCS moves can pose some financial strain, right? So that may look different for each individual or family. Could you briefly share some of the challenges that are a result of frequent military moves?
Yeah, frequent military moves can lead to significant expenses for military families. The Military Family Advisory Network actually estimates that military families will spend about $5,000 per PCS out of pocket that they're not reimbursed for, which adds up, right? If you're moving frequently, the cost of moving itself, temporary housing, food, lodging, things like that add up very quickly and can hit your pocketbook, right? Not to mention that military families often have a hard time maintaining a stable income when they're moving so frequently, which adds to a lot of expenses.
Yeah. As you stated, there are a lot of unique financial challenges that come with moving frequently and dealing with the uncertainty of military life. And that makes sense. And, at Military Saves, we always feel it's important to address those PCS challenges, even though most military savers are familiar with them, because they differ based on the individual situation. And there are new people joining the military every day who may not even be aware of them, or they'll be doing, their first PCS. So, there are other challenges that can arise based on the type of PCS you're doing, like if you're moving overseas or staying here in the States. And of course, moving overseas, like you said, $5,000, that's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
So, that's a lot. So moving overseas could mean putting out even more money, because I know it's expensive just moving, within the United States. Mm-hmm. So with those challenges in mind, Amy, what are some of the common financial pitfalls military and their families should be aware of during a PCS move?
Well, there's a number of challenges, right, that lead to common pitfalls. And some of those are, just not estimating the actual cost that they're going to incur. That's happened to me. We've gotten to a location before, and movers to help us unload were double what I estimated, right? So you gotta do your homework and really know what things are going to cost. And I always recommend doing a list. Make a list of every expense that you could possibly incur, and try to estimate it out and get a good idea. Another risk is overspending along the way, right? Which is how also happened to me. You eat out a lot, you stop at stores and you buy things you don't need, which can really add up when you're, moving across country, or even, like you said, to another country. And a lot of times we don't prepare for the unexpected when we're doing a PCS. You could have a flat tire, vehicle repairs, lodging costs more, or anything like that. So it's very important that military families really take an inventory of and make a list of what they think they're going to expend, and then what they're going to be reimbursed for, so they can kind of stay inside of those limits.
Yeah, that's so true. And you bring up a good point that I mean, I probably have thought about it at a time, but the idea that there are things that we spend so much time prepping before the PCS that we don't think about those things that can actually occur during the actual PCS. So great point. Yeah.
Have a contingency plan, right? Like when you renovate a house, you hear about that all the time. We have this contingency plan. have one if you can for those unexpected things, like the flat tire along the way that you haven't expected. So yeah, so then it doesn't hurt as much, right? Doesn't hurt the wallet as much.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. And so essentially when military families, relocate due to those PCS moves, there are a number of financial challenges that they encounter. And, of course, like you said, one of the most common pitfalls is just underestimating possibly the total cost of moving, even though the military does play a part in helping you. The transportation costs, possible temporary storage, depending on if you're moving yourself or if you're allowing, Uncle Sam to move you, lodging. Like you said, another financial risk is overspending on non-essential items, possibly, such as
Mm-hmm.
eating out frequently or buying unnecessary souvenirs. I know when we went to Hawaii, I did that. So,
We
additionally,
those too. That happened to us one time. We stopped at a convenience store for 3 hot dogs, and $82 later, we left with fuzzy socks and fudge and everything else. So it adds up.
expensive hot dogs, right?
Yes, yes. I said we stopped for 3 hot dogs.
Yeah, totally, totally. So it's really, like you said, it's important to prepare, and that's such good advice. Really great points. So there's definitely a lot to think about, during these moves, but financially preparing ahead as much as you can is what I'm taking from what you're saying, and it definitely helps. And in our previous military town hall, we shared some tips on preparing ahead for a military move when it comes to money. So we'll drop the link in the chat for you to check out. So it's important to point them out so you can be financially prepared to the best of your ability and know the resources available for any type of situation that could happen. And so, Amy, speaking of money, military personnel and their families often receive certain allowances when they PCS. Can you share and kind of just elaborate on the best ways, kind of maybe even what they are and the best ways to make use of them?
Right. Okay. So the first one that comes to mind for me is the TLA and the TLE. One you receive for temporary housing when you're a CONUS, and one when you're inside the United States. And these are really just meant to partially pay members back for expenses that they incur during a PCS while they're in temporary lodging, for eating and paying for that lodging. And then there's also a dislocation allowance, which is meant to pay back, expenses that you incur that you may not be reimbursed for. So things like rental cars and replacing the food in your home that you couldn't bring with you, or your cleaning supplies. Really those fees and those expenses that you get, that you incur when you're moving into and setting up a new home, right? It's not a loan, and you can actually get it in advance. And they're based on your pay grade and whether you have dependents or not. And again, we talked about being prepared as one of the key things. So you can look up those allowances in advance on travel.dod.mil and see exactly what you're going to be reimbursed for, right? So you want to make the best of those by knowing what, back to that spending plan and that budget. A PCS, I like to think of it as a good time to refresh all of your finances, right? It's a fresh start, a new perspective, a new place. But you really want to know what those allowances are, what you're going to be getting, and then try to create that budget to stay within that limit.
Thank you for that explanation of TLA and TLE and DLA. There's so many acronyms. it, it can be confusing. So thank you for kind of summarizing that. So it's always, great to know that military families have access to these allowances during a PCS move. I think it's an important reminder. I've been in a lot of military spouse groups where sometimes, military spouses didn't know those things exist or not sure how to actually go ahead and maybe help their spouse to push to get them. And I know there was many times I was confused about what those allowances were exactly for. So
I can remember being a new military spouse and having no idea, like you said, what the acronym stood for or what we were eligible for. It was there, what resources were there. So it's tough. It's tough, especially for new spouses.
It is, and it's a lot to remember, and just the stress. I mean, moving in the military can be an amazing thing. You can move to so many great places, but it's stressful trying to figure that all out. So completely understand. So it's really great that we're providing that clear view for our military savers, especially those who may be doing their first PCS this summer. So, Amy, we're coming to a close, but I definitely want to give those who are moving with the military soon some real ways to save, hence the name of our town hall. So I think I mentioned earlier, I remember my days of having little ones and staying in lodging for a month. I remember we had PCS to Hunter Army Airfield, and we were in lodging, and we had one car. And I found us, of course, Savannah is such a beautiful place, but I found us eating out a lot, overcompensating for being stuck in a hotel room.
Yes.
And you know how that goes. And by overcompensating, that just means going out a lot more, maybe indulging the kids and letting them get extra toys because maybe they don't have all of their stuff with them.
Right.
And we did that a lot more than we intended to. So before we go, what are some simple practical ways just to cut back on those expenses that happen when you're already in the midst of that PCS move, when we're staying in temporary lodging or temporary housing?
Well, you actually made me think of a few things. Like you talked about, you have to compensate for them being bored and being in temporary lodging and not having the things that they need, or maybe you not having the things that you need in your home so that you can avoid eating out and things like that. So, but one of the first thoughts that come to mind for me is the lending closets on many installations or the thrift shops that are run by the spouses clubs. So instead of running out to your big box store to get the things that you need or the things that kids may want, check out the lending closets. You may be able to borrow things for free while you're in temporary lodging and then you return it. So that can save you some money. There's a lot of events that happen on base as well for kids and for families. Like our installation here, they have a dining hall. They do spaghetti night. They do taco night. It's very affordable for us to go out and eat there. And they pair it up with like bingo and kids activities or family game night and things like that. And it's completely free. So it's a way to save some money and still get out of temporary lodging and have some fun, meet some people. Avoiding eating out is another one. It's so hard when you're in temporary lodging. It's so much easier to just run down and get something. But I do always really encourage people to try to eat at home as much as they can. Shop at the commissary. It offers up to a 25% discount on groceries, which is a huge cost saving, especially now with the cost of groceries, right?
Yeah.
So you want to try to save as much as you can. A few other ideas are, when you're first moving, you got a lot of things to do, right? You don't know anybody, you have kids, you need to get out for you and your husband, and you have other things to do. So, a lot of the relief societies will actually reimburse you for childcare during a PCS up to like 20 hours. So look into the aid societies that are affiliated with your branch and see if they offer anything that could help you save money there, while by connecting you with an FCC that you can trust with your children, and it's taken care of, right? Your children are taken care of. Another thing, we talked about the spouses club a little bit. You mentioned it, and the ombudsman's program. I always recommend that, new people PCSing, especially new spouses and military families, engage with your key spouse program, your ombudsman, your spouses clubs. Who better knows the tricks of your installation and the resources available there than other military families that have just gone through it, right? So engage with them on social media, join the clubs, go to events. You'd be surprised at the things that you learn there and the tips that you can pick up.
Those are such great tips. And I agree. The lending closet, when we got to Hawaii, because a lot of times people go out and they'll buy air mattresses and they're spending all this
Right,
money. That furnished my whole house for the first, I think it was like 45 days. So we had
right.
very little we had to actually put out. And, already having to rent a car for a month was like a strain, a bit of a strain.
Right.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so certainly helpful. Amy, those are valuable tips. I'm sure our military families appreciate that. I hope they find them helpful. And really, thank you again for joining us today and providing such great information for our military savers. We hope this is helpful to you guys, especially before this PCS season arrives, and it's coming quickly. So be sure to check out links in the chat and militarysaves.org for more great tips on saving during PCS moves.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Maintaining good credit is a big part of your financial journey. And if you're a military member, it can also play a significant role in your career advancement. So here's Rod Griffin, Senior Director of Consumer Education and Advocacy for Experian, sharing a few quick tips on how military personnel can establish and maintain good credit and the savings benefits it can offer.
Hi, military savers. Having a strong credit report and credit score is essential to your financial success. And when serving in the armed forces, it's also important to your career advancement. Here are a few quick tips to help ensure your credit report will work for you to help you save, to keep your identity safe, and to ensure your career success. First, having good credit is important to moving up through the ranks. Your credit report will be reviewed when approving security clearances. Taking care of your credit report and scores will ensure that they help you get the clearances you need so you can do your job and advance your career. Second, check your credit report regularly. It's free at www.annualcreditreport.com. A strong credit report will help you save money on things like car loans and credit cards. It can help you obtain housing or mortgages at the lowest interest rates and fees possible, which will save you money, especially as you move often during your military career. And last, add an active duty alert to your credit report. An active duty alert tells anyone who gets your credit report that you are deployed and serving our country, and to verify your identity before granting credit in your name. The active duty alerts are free. You can add one at Experian.com/fraud. Just select added fraud alert, and we will share that alert with the other national credit reporting companies. Doing so makes sure that your identity has some additional protection until you get back and are back with your families again.
Now that we've discussed strategies for saving and financially preparing for your next military move, let's focus on saving money in your day to day life. From grocery shopping to household expenses, transportation costs, and even summer travel, there are a multitude of areas where military individuals and their families can cut costs, maximize their savings, and just flat out save money. So let's dive in and explore some really practical tips for living frugally without necessarily sacrificing your quality of life, if you will. Here's America Saves Communications Coordinator Amelia Simmons sharing some tips on how to save on general and those daily life expenses around your home.
Thanks, Crystal. We all know that life can be demanding and there are essential items that we all need to function in our day to day. So, today I'm going to give some easy tips that will help you save money easily and also almost immediately. So, with that, my first tip is to reduce your energy consumption. Now, this may seem like a no brainer, but turn off your lights and electronics when they're not in use. Many electronic devices, such as TVs and computers, they consume energy even when they're turned off or in standby mode. So unplug your electronics and turn off your lights when you're leaving the room or not using them for an extended period of time. You can also replace any traditional light bulbs with energy efficient LED bulbs, which can help reduce your energy consumption and save money in the long run. My tip number 2 is to plan your meals. So depending on the region, shopping at the commissary can save you an average of 20 to 42% off of your grocery bill. To make the most of these savings, create a weekly meal plan based on the products available at the commissary and shop with a list to avoid overspending. Military families can also take advantage of the commissary rewards card, which provides digital coupons for additional savings on your groceries. My third tip is DIY projects. So, service members or military families can save money on home repairs and improvement projects by utilizing the skills and resources that are available to you on base. Many military installations offer workshops and classes on DIY projects, and the base MWR may offer rental equipment and tools for your home improvement projects. For service members who are deployed, organizations like Project Evergreen offer lawn care services at no cost in some areas. My fourth tip is to utilize public transportation. Military members and their families can take advantage of discounted public transportation options through their local military installation. Some installations even offer free shuttle services to and from local areas, reducing the need for additional personal vehicles and saving you money on gas. Last but not least, I would advise you to buy secondhand. Military bases often have thrift stores or exchange stores that offer gently used clothing, furniture, and household items at discounted prices. So, shopping at these stores can help you save money while also supporting your local military community. Lastly, spring cleaning not only helps you declutter your home, but it can also provide you with some extra cash in your pocket. Don't let these unused items collect dust in your home. Instead, consider selling them on an online marketplace like ThredUp or Facebook Marketplace. Now, be sure to exchange your items safely and in a public space. Not only will you declutter, you'll earn some extra cash to allocate towards other wants or needs, such as PCS savings. Here's Crystal with more tips on saving for military discounts and summer travel.
Thanks, Amelia, for sharing those helpful tips. So at Military Saves, we really pride ourselves on, like a no shaming approach to savings and to money. After all, life is meant to be lived and enjoyed, and sometimes that means indulging in a little discretionary spending, such as vacations or new clothes or the occasional Starbucks drink. However, it's crucial to prioritize the important things and find ways to save while enjoying those little luxuries. So, here are a few helpful military focused savings tips and deals for military personnel, veterans, and their families to use. Starting with streaming services. These days, almost all your favorite shows are on some type of streaming platform. And you might be surprised to find out that several of your favorite streaming services offer a military discount. Disney Plus, for instance, offers 25% off to military veterans, military personnel, and their family. So be sure to search military discounts on streaming services, and several will come up. You can also check out military discounts on sites like military.com or Retail Salute, and we'll be sure to pop some of those in the chat. Case lot sales and big box stores. Military families who want to save money by shopping in bulk have a couple of great options to consider. And firstly, the commissary case lot sales provide an opportunity to really stock up on a wide range of products at discounted prices that are bulk in size. And these sales occur periodically throughout the year and offer great deals on items in bulk quantities. Additionally, wholesale stores such as BJ's or Sam's Club offer military discounts on their memberships. And by taking advantage of these discounts, military families can access exclusive savings and enjoy shopping in bulk at these retailers. And when it comes to groceries, don't forget, if you live off base or don't live close to a military installation and maybe don't have necessarily access to the commissary, several popular grocery retailers offer a military discount throughout the year or once per month. So be sure to check your local grocery stores before you visit. And my favorite, when it comes to that morning or afternoon beverage, I know for many of us it is non-negotiable. So if stopping for your favorite coffee or tea beverage happens pretty often, consider shopping the various military discounts on veteran-owned coffee brands. And if you love a Starbucks drink, you can actually bring a reusable cup and they'll give you a discount on select beverages. Now, moving on to one of my other favorites, summer travel. If you're a current member of the U.S. military, a veteran, or a Gold Star family, there's a great opportunity to explore America's national parks for free. So the America the Beautiful Pass offers complimentary access to over 2,000 federal recreation sites across the country. It's really a great way to enjoy the natural beauty of our country while saving some cash, going camping, and taking that fun road trip. There's also lots of reward programs and military deals on things like hotels, theme parks across the country, airlines, and more. So be sure to search your favorite brands and military deals to find out what they offer. So as you can see, military personnel and their families can enjoy some of the things we love while still saving money. Take advantage of those military discounts on things like those streaming services, that bulk shopping, those vacations, those case lot sales, those big box stores, and military rewards for summer travel. And prioritize what's important and still enjoy life to the fullest. Before we go, we're excited to share and introduce the launch of Veteran Saves, our newest initiative from America Saves, and it's all about helping you build financial resilience, increase your savings, and achieve financial stability. Veteran Saves is the sister program to Military Saves and provides tailored support to address your unique financial circumstances. The Association of Military Banks of America and the Defense Credit Union Council are also joining America Saves to launch this initiative. We'll be sharing resources and solutions, tips, and support for key financial issues that the veteran community faces, like debt, financial stress, being unhoused, being unbanked, and more. With over 250,000 service members separating from active duty annually, we look forward to supporting you to ensure your financial future is stable and secure. And with that, we'd love to hear about the tips, strategies, and tools you plan to put into practice following today's town hall. Don't hesitate to share them with us in the comments. And if you're looking to further your savings goals, consider taking the pledge at militarysaves.org. For those transitioning out of the military and existing veterans, check out veteransaves.org for more resources and to take the Veteran Saves Pledge. Also, don't miss out on the chance to win one of 5 $500 cash prizes in our Think Like a Saver sweepstakes. Thank you for joining us today. We're thrilled to have had you.
Thanks for joining us today for the Think Like a Saver, Real Ways to Save for Military Virtual Town Hall. We'd like to give a special thanks to our sponsors whose generous donations helped us bring this event to you: JP Morgan Chase and USAA. Thank you for allowing Military Saves to be your savings accountability partner and trusted resource as you work hard toward your financial goals.